Okay, so now are we ready to
Now
advance?
I think we have tapped out. Jaws 3 has tapped us out of not only talking about it, but also talking about Deep Blue Sea.
Yes, so let's talk
So let's move
Jaws
on to...
I have talked about this movie already on YouTube.
You have.
There's footage of it.
I was told not to watch it, so I don't know exactly what you're saying inside of it.
Okay, so
But
we're going to save all of the things I have to say because they've heard me talk about it.
Yes.
I want to know what you thought of Jaws Revenge and how you watching it came to be. Because this is... I didn't give a fuck about you watching Jaws 3.
No, you didn't. But it was like, if I'm going to watch Jaws 1 and 2 and 4, I gotta watch, like, sequential, you know?
Because this is a childhood favorite of mine.
Okay.
Like, this is something I did not reveal in the Jaws video, the Jaws Revenge video that I did.
Jaws 4 from childhood?
Well, I revealed that I love Jaws the Revenge.
Yeah.
But I did not reveal that I actually saw this one before I saw Jaws 1.
Okay.
Legitimately. Because we were vacationing in Florida.
Oh, the perfect time to watch a scary shark movie.
Yes, and we were at Pensacola Beach is where we were at. And in the hotel room, I woke up like way early. It was like 5 a.m.
Okay.
And I just turned on the hotel TV, and they had like the movie channel.
Yeah.
And this movie, I saw it from beginning to end. And I was like, I didn't know what Jaws was. I didn't know none, because I was like 5.
Yeah.
And this movie fucking kicked ass.
And you watched it with like commercials?
With no commercials.
No commercials.
Because it was
like
it was like stars or whatever,
yeah.
you know what I mean? And I saw it from like, I remember those opening shots with like the POV of the shark underwater. And I knew it was a shark movie because of that stuff. But I was just like, the music from Jaws 1 is in this movie. So all of the iconic Jaws stuff was exposed to me.
Right.
And I just didn't know that there was an even better movie out there.
You're like, this is the greatest. This is the fourth one?
Yeah. Well, what? I didn't know it was the fourth one either. I just knew that it was like, it was called Jaws the Revenge. And I got this movie for Christmas as a kid.
Okay.
And it was just like the coolest thing ever. I got like a stuffed shark with it and stuff, and it was like under the tree and shit. It was like, that's basically all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, Jaws 1 is the movie that like, when I discovered it, I didn't give a fuck about this.
Yeah.
But I circled back around in later life.
Oh yeah, that is a Jaws movie.
And I was like, I saw that before Jaws. And I was like, that definitely maybe makes me think more favorably on it.
I saw them as sequential already.
Yes, you did.
Yep.
So now that has been said,
okay,
how did this get exposed
Jaws
to you?
4 was exposed to me, I think I mentioned it earlier, where one of my coworkers was like, I love Jaws 3, but you gotta watch 4 too if you're gonna watch 3. And I was like, alright, what... 3 is the 3D goofy one, right? And they were like, yeah, it's goofy, but I love it. And then I was like, okay, sell me 4, because like, I like Jaws 1, but I don't like 2, so you're gonna have to hard sell me on a 4th Jaws, which I've heard way less about and likely is worse than the one I didn't enjoy. Sell me on it. And this guy, this motherfucker, comes up and is like, in Jaws 4, Brody's wife has a metaphysical connection to the shark. And I was like, oh, yeah, Jaws 3 sucked, but I guess I got to see like the psychic battle between Ellen Brody and the shark.
I was like, I'm pretty sure I told you the shark comes back from the dead.
Yeah, you were like, hey, remember the shark from Jaws 1 and Jaws 2? It's Jaws 1, because Jaws 2 is a different shark. Right? Maybe.
Now as we're sitting here, I'm like, if you think about it, so Jaws 4... The shark is supernatural.
Yes.
It's explicitly supernatural. She has a connection with it. She can sense it.
They don't say it outright.
They don't say it,
like,
but
it's a ghost shark.
Yeah, but like she touches the water and instantly is like, and like she locks into where the shark is at and realizes it's coming. She knows the shark was hunting for her family.
Right.
The shark, I think, in canon, put the log in the channel marker to draw out Chief Brody's
son,
and ended up getting the son.
Yeah.
And it's like the sins of the father hit the son. I've said all this in a video before.
Okay.
But,
did you touch on the, like, original script for Jaws 4, where they had, like, some voodoo doctor who, like, cursed the Brody family?
Yes, and that is in the novelization as well. So that is canon in a way.
In a way.
So anyone that wants to say that all the stuff with the shark is fucking dumb, the text of the film is that the shark is supernatural.
And that is way cooler than the shark's 3D. And it's in a water park. That's why I had to watch Jaws 4.
But so the shark in Jaws 2, I think, might be the shark from Jaws 1 as well. Because...
How?
Because the two scuba duver buddies, the two scuba diving guys,
super duper scuba,
they get killed by Jaws
Yes.
at the wreckage of
the orca. You think he's like a haunting?
I think that he haunts the orca, and that they awakened the spirit of Jaws.
Oh, damn.
And then that he kills the shark in Jaws 2. And Jaws 4, the shark spawns again. And the first shot you see of it, it's like in this like wreckage.
Okay.
And it looks like the pipe that it bit into in Jaws 2.
So like it's constantly lurking in the way that it died.
Yes.
It's like haunting.
Yes. And then I think her stabbing it and it blowing up, I hate that ending. That's the one thing about Jaws. Not the
stupid.
one thing. There's a bunch I can nitpick.
Sure. It's
but
very over the top.
I really hate the shark blowing up. I wish that they kept in the original ending, which I've learned that there are like 5 different versions of Jaws 4.
Isn't the original, it's the boat stabs it and they sink together?
Yes,
right?
like the shark, it's like death writhes, like
Yeah.
yank the boat underwater,
Right.
and then you see the shark like sink with the thing stabbed to it. It's way cooler. But the I don't know,
shark filled with nitroglycerin that just goes.
yes, and I mean you can say that because it's a supernatural shark, maybe just like all of the collective combustive trauma the shark has endured in the previous films just comes out.
Yeah,
I'm trying to make sense of this.
We'll make it work.
It's in my head canon.
Sure,
you have to do that with this movie.
Yeah,
there are several different versions of Jaws 4 in circulation.
Okay.
And the version that was shown in theaters
the
was...
The TV version is like a completely different cut, isn't it?
It's different-ish. Okay. It's got different stuff in it. But the most graphic version is like the European cut. All of the shots of the shark like taking people underwater and like continuing to eat them and stuff like that. Like the shot where it takes Jake underwater and Jake is still like fighting against it. That's not in like the TV version and stuff like that. But that is back in here.
Yeah, they put it back in the release at least.
Yes, but the European version also is the one where the shark gets stabbed and then it's like and blood's like shooting out of its mouth and then it fucking
that's way cooler than.
Yes, and I wish that because that was the version they showed in theaters, and then the audiences didn't like it, and then they literally shot after the movie had already come out.
Really?
Shot the explosion.
I didn't know it was like a post production.
It was like post release. The movie hit theaters.
They put Jaws DLC in.
Yeah, and then that was the version that was in all the home video releases.
So it's like the Jaws special edition.
Basically, but you can't find the fucking original ending, which is way better.
So it's the Jaws special edition,
I guess. But I want a like 4K of Jaws 4
that has
the alternate ending with the extended death scenes with all of that shit in there.
What if it sinks? What if they make like a third unavailable cut that doesn't exist? And I'm just making this up. It sinks when it hits the bottom and explodes.
Sure, fine with me.
Yeah, all of it.
And then also,
we'll give them both.
The original ending, Jake is not alive. They're like him floating up and being like,
yeah, well, I was okay the whole time.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you died so hard. Like,
yeah,
you died.
Yeah, he definitely dies. What's his actor's name?
Mario Van Peebles.
Yes.
And I fucking love him in this movie.
He's good.
Some people say he's annoying.
The accent is a little over the top.
Oh,
but
sure.
Fine.
The Plane Man. You know, like, but he's just a fun character.
He is fun.
I like him, and also, I fucking love the relationship with him and Michael.
There's like a extended scene where they're like actually arguing, and it feels like two friends having a legitimate fight.
And then he says that thing, and then he's like, "Hey man, I'm sorry about your brother." You know, and you're like, "Oh, they're like buddies."
That's real.
And then there's a moment where if Jake had died, it would have been so much more powerful. But I know he lives, so it's fucking stupid.
Whatever.
Where Jake gets eaten, you're all sad and stuff. But then when he picks up the thing, because like he put the thing in the shark's mouth,
right? His
so like
homemade I don't even know. It's like a weird electrical pulse thing, isn't it?
Yes, to fuck with the shark's brain or whatever, and like shock the hell out of him or whatever. He starts using it, and then Michael Caine, we'll get into him. He says, "Is that going to work?" And then he says, "It'll work. If Jake says it'll work, it'll work."
Yeah,
because all throughout the movie, he's saying like, "No, man, my equipment don't crap out."
Right,
and he's saying like, "Your equipment crapped out again, Jake." But then after he dies, he's like, "No, if Jake says it'll work, it'll work."
It's got to do it,
and then it works, and they kill the shark with it.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing.
That is neat.
It's fucking... There's cool character work.
There's way more engaging and interesting character work in Jaws 4 than 2 and 3 combined. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna put it out there. I liked the character stuff in 4 more than I like the character stuff in 2. Because 2, like I've said, feels more like a slasher movie. And in slasher movies, you are not meant to get attached to like 3 to 6 characters because they're gonna die. Whereas in like the cast of Jaws 4 feels like a real cast of characters that you are like, if at any moment one of these people die, it is going to have a lifelong effect on the rest of the cast.
That, I'm going to have to say I agree with.
Okay.
I thought it over. You
were frozen, and I was like, I don't know if I'm pitching this well enough.
Really, the only character in Jaws 2 that I think has like that pathos with the audience is Brody, and it's mostly stuff that carries over from Jaws 1. Yep. Other than that, I think the original script for Jaws 2, that wouldn't have been an issue. But Jaws 4, I love the two. I love Jake and Michael. I think Lorraine Gary's Ellen Brody.
Yeah.
There's not many movies that build the protagonist character as the like elderly woman who's widowed and is like trying to find love later in her twilight years with fucking Michael Caine.
Yeah, and you get a little bit of weird stuff with that, where it's like
Michael Caine did say though that he was happy to be in a relationship in a movie with a woman his own age.
Yeah, because usually he's cast with like much younger women,
and he was like, "This is like way more realistic." You know what I mean?
This is how.
Yeah, Michael Caine though, I think I've said all this before, but he only did the movie because he wanted to be able to vacation to the area, and he said that he had a great time making it because he didn't have to do hard
he just had like a vacation in the tropics essentially.
And he said that he's like, I never saw Jaws 4, but I saw the house it bought, and it was rather nice, or some shit like
insanely fair.
Yeah.
It's just like, if you were going to shoot a film and everybody critically just dumps on it for the rest of your life, you can at least be like, here's the mansion that movie bought me.
0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's Rotten Tomatoes. Who cares?
Okay, but 0. How many fucking movies can say they have a 0%?
If I was to give a movie a 0, it's got to be like a film I walked out of.
And that like the
with
people
like
that
no artistic merit,
and the people that made it are like bad people for making it.
Yeah.
Like I don't want the movie to exist.
Right. Like, you know wow, I can't believe this was put in theaters.
Yes.
Jaws 4 is an enjoyable experience. Jaws 3? No. Jaws 2?
Would you give Jaws 3? Would you give Jaws
a bad day, and I might not say Jaws 2 is an enjoyable experience.
Would you give Jaws 3 a 0?
Hell no.
Okay, exactly. 0% I think is like obtuse. It's like you're just dogpiling.
And it's like, oh, everyone says this one's bad. I just made my account. Time to give it a 0, just like everyone else.
This one sucks. Yeah. The shark roars. It's like they'll pick the one thing
that everyone else.
The shark roaring, it's fucking stupid.
The shark makes noise in the first one,
but you can't find anything else in this movie that's remotely cool. You didn't like the sunken ship chase scene.
Yeah.
That part, I fucking love that. It's super, super cool. I love the scene where he's in the
weird, like, underwater
little
like,
submarine thing. And then the shark's, like, right here. And, like
right next to it.
And it's like, that's cool.
And he turns and it's like, what?
Yeah. I like, obviously, the opening scene of the movie. I talk at great length about it in my previous video, so I'm not going to bore people with it. But it's so fucking scary.
It is.
Nighttime, the shark juxtaposed with Christmas, like his screams of agony, and then you cut to the Christmas caroling, and it's like... Yeah. Also just being eaten at night on Christmas in the cold. It's winter. There's snow. It's like, it's just an unusual setting.
Yeah, because when you think of Jaws, you're like, the 4th of July, the summertime, the beach, and it's like, we're going to set Jaws 4 at Christmas time.
Yeah, and I think
it's so warm because it's like
they go to the Bahamas.
Yeah,
but the opening 30 minutes where they're still in Amity, it's the same. It's also still Martha's Vineyard, so it looks like Amity Island. And there's also like cameos for like Alex Kittner's mother is at the funeral for Sean Brody.
Really, I never noticed that.
She's there.
Doesn't slap anyone this time though.
She does not slap anybody. Yeah, my boy is dead. She died from COVID. Do you know that?
For real?
The actress got killed by COVID.
Damn, that sucks.
And she used
Unless it was like, I'm refused to get masked kind of scenario, but whatever.
It was like really early on, so I think it was like, she might have just died of that.
That sucks.
She was elderly. Well, and she used to say that she would like smack people that would meet her.
At one point she was like, because it's in the shark is still working thing, she's like, I have smacked my last smack.
Yeah.
Like, I will not smack anyone. Like, don't come up to me and ask me to hit you.
Yeah, she was really mean to old Chief Brody. She should have smacked the fucking mayor, dude. That would have been nice.
Yeah.
She didn't know, though, so she just blamed fucking Chief Brody. But either way, she's there. The receptionist lady from the first movie who's like, they're karateing the picket fences.
Right.
She's in there. Phone call lady's in there. There's the woman who's like, I don't think that's funny. I don't think that's funny at all. And then, are you going to close the beaches? She's in there.
She's in there. You got returning customers.
She's at the wake at the house where the family comes to visit and they're all sitting
and
there,
the little girl's there, and it's like, let's go get food. Or
yeah. Little girl is great in this movie.
Yeah, for a child actor.
She behaves just like a child actor. When she's getting attacked by the shark and she goes into shock afterwards.
On the banana boat?
On the banana fucking boat.
Which I'm sure you've talked about.
I've talked about it. We don't need to talk about it again. I'm trying to cover new stuff.
Sure.
I did cover this in my other one, but maybe you don't know this. The actress that played the little girl, she's the voice of Ducky from Land Before Time.
I heard about that, and it's a very tragic thing that happened
I was getting
to her
there.
and her family.
She's also the voice of the little girl from All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Don't think I've seen that.
Well, she voices that little girl.
Gotcha.
And yes, she was murdered by her own father.
Yes.
Which is awful. But it sucks. And that's... I just bring it up because it is a fact about the movie.
Doesn't her tombstone say yep, yep, yep?
If it does, I'm going to cry right now.
Okay.
So let's
I thought there was something like that.
Fuck! We were talking... you came in to work the next day. I'm like, what'd you think? And you were like, oh, it's not bad. And you said that there's a lot of great character work.
Yeah.
And especially the first half of the movie.
Yeah.
And it...
There's a lot of very realistic grieving mother who lost her son and is now fighting to make sure it never happens to anyone else in her family again. Which kind of gets thrown out the window because they're like, let's go to the Bahamas. But you get that in the early stuff.
But you get a lot.
Don't go back and none of my family.
I don't want anyone going near the water ever again.
It killed your father and it's gonna kill you.
Yeah. It's also when she's like, I'll fix you something to eat. Like, oh no, you don't have to do that. And then she yanks all the pots and pans out.
Yeah,
and
it's all I can do. Yeah.
And she's like,
it feels very
it's so
grounded.
real. Yeah. And then when they're walking on the beach and he's like, it was just a fucking shitty piece of wood. Like it was he's venting, but then he just takes off. It's all that stuff is people think is cornball. I'm like, but it's
why
developing the people.
He just ran away from the conversation he was having. He's like, yeah, that's his feelings are boiled up. He's like, I just gotta go. I
don't know, and they're also on the same beach from the first one. All that opening stuff really marries this one with the first one. Symbolically,
this one does
setting
feel
wise.
Well, it's literally called The Revenge, and it's personal, and the shark's back. It feels much more like a Married 2 sequel. Like a continuation of here are the characters grown up in a few years.
Yeah.
Because you get some of that in 2, of course, because both of the kids are back. But
Jaws 2 is way more we're just doing Jaws 1 again, except
Jaws 2 is a summer later.
A summer
Jaws
later.
4 is in 10 years, here are the Brodies.
It really does feel like another piece of the story and not just an extension of the first one. It's this is a different thing.
Right.
And that's why I like all the stuff with the supernatural stuff. And also you get the we're out on the ocean hunting the shark with the Jake and Michael characters. They're out on their boat and they're let's take a break from the snails and then we're going to do the shark thing. And Michael's like, I really want to do the snails thing.
Yeah.
And all that stuff, I like all that stuff.
You get the fun, this is, an oceanographer's daily life isn't hunting and killing sharks. It's putting tags on clams.
And it's then when they find this shark and they put that tag on him, and then it's they got the
little tracker,
and it kind of sounds like the Jaws theme song.
I never noticed.
It's awesome. And then with it it gets bigger, it's an earthquake almost.
Oh, really?
Like a Richter scale. Yeah, like a Richter scale thing. I don't know. There's a lot that I really like about it, and I like the characters. I like the music. I want to talk about the music. Michael Small does the soundtrack, and he was basically, they gave him here's John Williams music, and
good luck.
Yeah, and it's Michael Small. I can't think of anything else that he's done, but this soundtrack is incredible.
It's good. It goes through the whole film.
It
never at a
builds off of what John Williams did.
Yeah.
You need to have that stuff in there.
Of course.
But it also has this mystical, ethereal sound to it. And I fucking love it. Especially when she's steering the boat at the shark at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And it's the Jaws theme, but way more urgent sounding.
And ramped up.
And it's I just think it's amazing. And because it's in this movie that has been so maligned for years, no one is going to talk about how incredible it is.
Okay.
But Jaws the Revenge's score, I'm going to get so much shit for this. But this is all about hot takes.
There's no way you're saying
it's summer and we're sweating.
Say it's better than John Williams.
I'm not saying it's better.
Okay.
I think it's just as good though. I think it's a great.
I would have to listen
piece.
to it by itself again.
I have before, and I think I think as a companion piece, Jaws 1 is the adventure. Let's go out and we're gonna get that shark.
Yeah.
And it's the exciting Jaws
Right.
score. This is the...
It's like the Indiana Jones score. It's like,
Yeah.
here we go.
Like, and it's got that, like, you know...
Sounds like a touch of Jurassic Park in it, too, but it's all John Williams.
Right.
So.
But Jaws the Revenge is that score flipped on its head in, like, a darker version of it. This is the doomy, the shark is coming to get you, no matter where you are.
Personal.
It's personal. Like, it's just... The assignment he was given... It's like he was just like, I'm gonna really just fucking go all out. Shit. I'm gonna go I'm gonna knock this out of the park so hard. This movie could be what the fuck ever. And it's just like nobody talks about it. And I think that it's an amazing score. And I don't know. John Williams,
more love.
John Williams is honestly amazing, obviously, but like, Michael Small took his work, made his own thing while building off of it, and it is, I cannot think of Jaws the Revenge without thinking of Michael Small's music. So I think that's a huge aspect of it, you know. I
think at the end of the day, if you were to watch Jaws 4 and you came away at the end of it and you were like, that's going down as a 0%, what the fuck movie did you just watch?